For there is no respect of persons with God.
See, it's no respect of persons. He going to give you what you got coming, but he do got order. He do start with Israel. Now let's go to Exodus 12. Show you it's always been like that. But he never has been excluding nobody either. He always made room for those who want to believe. See, you can have a Jew or a true Israelite. He don't want to keep God's commandments. He want to keep going to church on Sunday and the seventh day, his Sabbath day. You're going to end up in trouble. But you can have a Gentile. You can have somebody from Ireland say, look, I want to do what God told his people Israel. I want to keep the Sabbath day, the seventh day. I want to keep the feast days and the law, dietary laws and the laws and statutes so I can get eternal life. He just told you you're going to get it. And the Israelite who supposed to know better first, he going into the lake of fire. Jesus told you that in Matthew 8. We don't have time to read all this. He said a lot of the children are going to get cast out and other people are going to come in. So he's no respect of persons. Don't make the mistake of thinking that. But now he still got order. And everybody, see, if you know he got order, you will know what doctrine you got to follow. You got to follow the doctrine he gave to Israel. Not the doctrine that the Romans telling you about from Rome or man is making up, period, but the doctrine that he gave to Israel. The Sabbath day is the seventh day. The holy days, the Passover, Pentecost, the Feast of Tabernacles, the Ten Commandments, the other laws and statutes, you got to follow that. But now let's go to Exodus 12 and pick it up at verse 36. Go ahead.
And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required.
Now this is when they were leaving Egypt, they spoiled the Egyptians. They took everything. They said, let me have them jewels. And the people were so scared, they said, here, see, that's going to happen again at the second coming. Israel going to be on top of the world, the real Israel. And that's hard to believe, but just keep living. Go ahead.
And they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children.
See, that's the children of Israel was leaving, but notice other people went with them. See, the Lord always been inclusive of other people who believe like his people Israel, who believe in the one and only God. Notice what happened, verse 38.
And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
See, the Lord was coming to get Israel, but now other people from other nationalities, they said, can we go to you? And the Lord said, come on. So a mixed multitude went with them. But now skip down to verse 49, because let's see the regulations for all the people, Israel and the mixed multitude. Verse 49, go ahead.
One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
See, it's one law. So don't let nobody tell you, well, that's the Jewish Sabbath, and we got the Christian Sabbath. No, you don't have no Sabbath. The Sabbath belonged to the Lord. That's his law. He ordained it in Genesis 2. Wasn't no Jew, wasn't no Christian. He ordained it. That's whose Sabbath it is. If you're going to follow him, you're going to follow that Sabbath, his Sabbath. And this Sunday, I'm going to tell you, that belonged to Satan, but that's another lesson. But now let's go to Matthew, the 10th chapter, because we're going to show you the New Testament is not saying anything different, brothers and sisters. Jesus didn't come and usurp the order that God set up. Just like I quoted to you Matthew 15. We're not going to read that today, but we're going to read this in Matthew 10, because people tell you in the news, it don't matter about the Jew. He talking about, somebody probably saying right now, he's sitting up there talking about the Jew first. God don't care about no Jew first. Let's see, Jesus want everybody to come. He do want everybody to come, but he got order still. Matthew 10, and pick it up at verse 5. Go ahead.
These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Now, these 12, this is Jesus' disciples. This is when Jesus himself was going on his mission to recover the whole world in sin. But notice the way he went and the way he didn't go. When he sent the 12 out, did he say, look, just go preach to any and everybody? No. He didn't say that, did he? Matter of fact, he gave them restrictions, didn't he? Yeah. According to my Bible. Maybe your Bible say something different. You should get it and read it sometime. He said here, when he sent these 12 out, he said, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of Samaritans enter ye not. But go where? Verse 6.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's the only people he sent them to. Because the Jew got to come first. Israel got to come first. Now, Jesus upheld this principle. Paul substantiated in Romans, showing you what hadn't changed yet. Now, what you going to believe? See, you believe in a fairy tale. He said, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Jesus said this. Do you believe Jesus really? Go ahead, verse 7.
And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Now go preach, but go preach to who? Israel, because Israel got to get it first. That's why you're going to find out people like me, look like me, we're going to be the ones really understand this. We ain't in church playing church on Sunday like the rest of our people doing who don't know no better. We're going to be the ones understand this because the Lord give it to Israel first. And the way you're going to get it is right from here. But now go back to Isaiah 49 because this was already told. The story already been told. And it wasn't limited to Israel because else that would nullify the statement, the Jew first, then the Gentile. Obviously, the Gentile got to come. Right. The stranger got to come. We all got to go the same way. Obviously, he got to come, but it's the order of things. So it wasn't exclude nobody. So don't get the idea that somebody being excluded. It's just God's order. And you got to come according to his order. And you got to recognize his order like that woman did in Matthew 15. Isaiah 49 and verse 5. 49 and 5. This story been told, brothers and sisters. 49 and 5. Go ahead.
And now, saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength.
Now, don't you know this is prophecy about Jesus? This is really Jesus talking. He said, and now, said the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him, because Jacob got messed up. Remember, we dealt with 2 weeks of lessons showing you how Israel got scattered. That's Jacob. Israel got scattered in bondage. We was messed up by the time Jesus come. That's why he said, go only to the lost sheep right now. We get to the other people, we got to deal with the lost sheep. They at the top of the agenda. So he said, to bring Jacob again to him, though Israel be not gathered. We still not gathered, is he? But that's Jesus' job. He said, yet he going to be great and glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and he going to be his strength. Verse 6.
And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob.
See, he got to raise up the tribes of Jacob. And do what else?
And to restore the preserved of Israel.
And restore the preserved of Israel. He going to preserve some of us. That's why we still here. Though we destroyed as a people, we are lost people. We still walking around. Because he preserving some, and he going to bring Jacob back to himself. But he said, it's a light thing for you just to do that, Jesus. This is what the Father's saying to the Son, really. It's a light thing for you to do that. For you to raise up the tribes of Jacob and restore the preserved of Israel, one and the same. What else is the Father using the Son to do? Go ahead.
I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth.
See, some brothers that say they Israel, they read the Old Testament, they say, look, God hate all other people, he just going to save Israel. And that's from the Old Testament. Look, you ain't been reading the Old Testament too good, brother. It didn't say that right here. It said the one that's preserving Israel said, look, he been set to be a light to the Gentiles as well. That's what he said here, didn't he? Right. He said, I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. See, Jesus knew that. Jesus knew his mission. So don't get offended. Some people get offended. I done read people, they say, well, why he say he's only sent to Israel, and why he called a woman a dog? Because he know what he's talking about. Don't get offended. Just accept his program. That's the way it is. The Jew first, then the Gentile. But he making room for you. You just be ready when it's time for you to come. And see, now it's time for you to come because he called it. Once he preached to Israel, then he sent Paul out to the Gentiles and started bringing them in. But now the world done got totally messed up. So, look, he calling any and everybody to come to this gospel. But he said that back here. He said, I will give thee for a light to the Gentiles. Now let's go to John the 10th chapter. No, I'm sorry. Before we go there, go to Isaiah 56. I'm ahead of myself. We're going to John next. But go to Isaiah 56 because not only